training in martial arts. I was a fan of these guys, obviously. But it's also neat to hear their stories too. And Gerald and people like that, these guys get older and they get really good at telling these stories because they've told them a lot. So it's fun hearing Gerald talking about working with John Carpenter on Escape from, or on Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah, it's really cool.
Let's hear some anything that sticks out from you that they had told you about that you can say.
Trying to think of it. I don't want to tell anything out of school, but this isn't so Gerald tells a story about working on Knight Rider, right? With David Hasselhoff.
Oh yeah.
And he was supposed to be part of a motorcycle gang in the show, and they cast him in the show, and he's there working on it on the Universal lot or something, I think. And they're like, okay, now here's the scene where you have to ride a motorcycle. And Gerald's like, dude, I don't travel in anything with less than 4 wheels. I don't do motorcycles. And they're like, oh, well, that's okay. You wear a helmet. We'll find a double for you. So the next day or something like that, Gerald's on the set. And Gerald tells the story much better than me. But and then he runs into Al Leong from Big Trouble in Little China, obviously, but Die Hard and Lethal Weapon as well, with the long hair and stuff. We all know him from Showdown in Little Tokyo and everything. Also the stunt coordinator on the Scorpion King.
Cool.
And Al shows up, and Al's a character. Al's great, and he's like, Gerald's like, what, Al? What are you doing here? And Al's like, they hired some guy who can't ride his own motorcycle, so I gotta fill in for a guy. So it turned out Al was Gerald's riding double for that and like that. These guys, I mean, you could get these two guys in a room and have them just talk story, and they're like a comedy team. They're the funniest guys. All these guys are really funny too. Like they're all really like, they had their moment. They did big stuff, and people remember them. And then they go, do their own thing as they they have families and kids and grandkids and everything. But it's just, I'm a nerd like that. I'll just sit and listen to the stories all the time. I don't care. So it's an honor to be able to work with these dudes. And it's, I will say about directing action versus, and martial arts especially, versus horror is, it's like comedy. It's like it either sells or it doesn't, right? Like a line is either funny or it's kind of not. I mean, to some degree. And during scary scenes, like it's scary or it's not. It either works or it kind of doesn't, right? You know it, and then when you finally see it with the sound music, and fight scenes the same way. A punch or a kick or something like that either sells or it looks cheesy, right? And obviously this is the bar you're up against trying to do this. When you're filming, obviously you do things many times, you a couple times just to make sure that you get it, and then you move a camera and you do a different angle and you get what's called coverage. And if you're shooting a conversation scene with two actors or whatnot, and they're talking, and then in one scene, inevitably the actor will like take a drink in between one line, and then you roll again, and inevitably it's in the other hand, or they do it on a different line or something. You run into these continuity issues all the time. When you work with martial artists are trained to do the same thing the same way, exactly the same way, over and over and over again. It's it's the core of martial arts. You do kata, you do kumite, you do that kind of thing. So when you're doing a fight scene, or even when you're not, even when you're just shooting a dialogue scene, there's a mentality to the martial artist where they're going to figure out how they do it, and they're just going to repeat that every time. And your continuity issues, a lot of them go away. It's really nice because they're gonna kick the same way every single time because that's how they're trained to do it. It's muscle memory, right? And just trying to get a young actor who's running away from something or something like that in a horror movie to fall at the same moment or to do the thing and not be sort of subject to the whims of acting, like where they are emotionally in the moment and stuff. It's a little more of a machine, and it's a lot of fun to do, and it's just amazing being on set with men and women who can do just incredible moves and stunts and stuff that at 50 I'm not able to do much of that anymore. But Elena Churinova, our star on Killer X, this lovely blonde girl from Russia, woman, I'm sorry. She's a great fighter. She has great acting chops. She's emotional and stuff like that. But like, she's done full body burns, and it's like,
wow,
like I think when someone's done stuff like that, like they're not as prone to complain if lunch shows up 15 minutes late. You know what I mean? Like there's a
Yeah,
perspective thing.
yeah, yeah. You gotta appreciate
They're a
it,
little more easygoing about the small stuff. Yeah. It's like I've been on fire. If you breathe in, you burn your lungs, right? It's this whole thing. So I find that fascinating. And I love being around people that can do things that I can't even dream of doing. It's really fun. But having a martial arts background to some degree, it's nice because I like to say I know enough to be dangerous. Like I know I can sort of demonstrate what I'm hoping they can do, just have them do it better and smoother, more powerfully than me. But yeah, it's fun. It's I've really enjoyed merging into this genre from horror in the last few years.
when you working with Michael Kesey,